Hello, hello, everybody. What's up? How are you? My Lord, it has been almost a year since our last triumphant show. We started off strong, and then the Lord just kept bringing ministry events after events, and He just filled us up. He did us good. But we are now back here, 2025, March. Welcome again to the Triumphant Show. I'm your creator, your host, your producer, Dr. Sheridalovelace, and I am so thankful for the years and the times ahead of these triumphant experiences with you. Those of you that have been with us along the way, those of you that are just coming into the fold, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, this broadcast is based on scripture. 2 Corinthians 2:14 says, and this is the contemporary English version that I like. I am grateful. This is what it says. I am grateful that God always makes it possible for Christ to lead us to victory. God also helps us spread the knowledge about Christ everywhere. And this knowledge is like the smell of perfume. I love this scripture, not only because it includes the word victory and triumph, but it talks about the very fact that God always makes it possible for us to win. He always comes through for us, no matter what we're going through. If we just keep our thoughts, our minds, our walk, stayed in alignment with His will, He comes through. And as we consume the Word of God, we become like a fragrance. Isn't that beautiful? A fragrance. And it allows other people to want to know who this Jesus is because they recognize there's something different about her. Or there's something different about him. And it just becomes a drawing effect, So I love that. That is our foundational scripture. We've had it since day one, back in 2019 or so. And we still have it today. And I thought I would just read a different version than the ones we have been reading because it just makes it plain and simple that He leads us into victory. And it just feels good. He gives us this experience of victory in our lives, of triumph. God does this. And when Paul is talking about this in the scripture, he's emphasizing this banner of victory that we can participate in through stuff like this: media, music, ministry. He gives us that platform to do so. And I just think that's phenomenal. So the Triumphant Show is a participant in demonstrating the victorious God we serve. Amen. Amen. I had to start off putting that key in the door of the Word of God as I welcome you into the studio on tonight. We have an awesome season ahead, y'all. Oh, an awesome season ahead. We have some amazing guests that are coming through, not just for this month, which is, guess what? Women's History Month. We just had International Women's Day, but even beyond. And so I'm so excited to see what God is doing and saying through these amazing men and women of God that are going to come in this platform this year and be one of those sweet smelling fragrances that attracts people to be able to be uplifted, to be able to know how to go through their healing, their deliverance, whatever it may be, to share their story, to set others free, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. So super excited about that. So, as we're moving into really almost the middle of March for Women's History Month, we are celebrating it, as I said, and we're kicking off tonight with Women of Worth. This month is really just about women of worth. Let me tell you, if I could just do 30 days and 30 shows of women of worth, it still would not be enough to validate, to lift up, to share, to celebrate these women around our city, our state, and even our region that have some amazing stories. They've gone through trials and tribulations, but God showed up at some point and began to allow them to still live and be fruitful and to have a harvest. They may have been tested. Their heart may have been tested with a lot of things through these trials and tribulations, but they made it through and they're doing some amazing things. And so tonight, that's what we're about to experience. And I'm so excited about my guest on tonight. When I think about her, I think about a lot of other women in the Bible, Ruth and Hannah and Miriam and Esther and all these women that had gone through things and that were tested and still made it through And for so many, God just gave them abundance. God did what he said he was going to do. God saw their heart, and things happened and things changed and shifted for them. And so the women of the now, I want us to celebrate them, whether it's your coworker at work, whether it's, a friend that you, that lives in your neighborhood, a family member, whatever it may be. There has to be something great about a woman that that has gone through some tests and trials, but she has came out because her heart was set in the right place and God gave her a harvest. And this month we are celebrating women like that. Super excited. So you guys, I want to go and read a little bit of our bio as we get into the show. I don't want to waste any time on this first broadcast of the year of 2025. And if you're catching the show tonight or the replay, let me tell you, you will not be disappointed as to what we are going to be sharing on tonight with my guests and just everything that God is doing. It's just super amazing. So let me share about this amazing, beautiful woman, y'all. I went to a event on behalf of, partly for my job, but also because I wanted to go. And it was talking about bridging the divide, both sides of the gun. And as you all know, I've been in former law enforcement, and I like working on the other side where we bring forth resources, healing, deliverance, change. We have reform, et cetera, when it comes to the criminal justice system. And so that's dear to my heart, still, even though I don't directly work in that area anymore. But this woman came on the platform and I was just so blown away by her story. Her and several other gentlemen that were there, just blown away. It was like the Lord was saying, bring her onto the show, because she definitely has a triumphant story. She's been through a lot, and we're going to hear about it. We're going to hear about the heart of her, things that have gone on and happened, but then how God just turns things around and gives a harvest. He shows up, he shows out, he brings forth a blessing. And so we're going to meet her. I want you to support her, love on her on tonight. Tell a friend so that they can come in and listen and hear and join in on the conversation. Listen, chat ministry. Don't be afraid to put comments in the chat. Don't be afraid to just share your thoughts. And definitely at the end of the show, I don't want you to be afraid to connect and continue to support this woman of God. You will see why once I'm done. So you all, tonight I have with me April Paulk. She's a visionary media executive. So April, she is an entrepreneur. She serves as the president and CEO of AP Rose Entertainment LLC, and I'm gonna breeze through this bio because I want y'all to meet her. That's just how bad I want y'all to meet her. She is also the executive producer of The Queenables. We're going to talk about that. It's a groundbreaking reality show featuring 7 justice-impacted women defying societal labels. The show highlights formerly incarcerated women overcoming challenges, succeeding in entrepreneurship, rebuilding relationships, and giving back gracefully. Additionally, the companion series that is to come is called The King of Bulls. It'll debut soon. It's focusing also on justice-impacted men navigating their paths to redemption and success. I'm loving this. The girl is educated now. Let me just say that. Her journey includes dual associate degrees in criminal justice, sociology from Georgia Military College. She has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Augusta University. Her path began in Douglas, Georgia, and she's now in a different part of the state. Her life, let me tell you this, it's a testament of resilience and unwavering determination. She survived domestic violence and endured an unjust conviction, leading to 5 years of incarceration. She emerged with a renewed mission to advocate for causes close to her heart. She is a fierce champion for domestic violence and mental health awareness, criminal justice reform, and the rights of women and those impacted by the justice system in general. During her time at Pulaski State Prison, her vision for AP Rose Entertainment began to take shape. And upon her release on March 3rd in 2023, y'all, not too long ago, but the girl is bad, okay? She founded the company within her first week of freedom, AP Rose Entertainment, and has since become a beacon of hope, truly, and empowerment, providing a platform for individuals to share their stories, their talents, and passions with the world. She is a mother of 4. She's a grandmother. She has twin boys, y'all, adult children, and so forth. So when we talk about a woman of worth, Y'all, women of worth, when you balancing work, when you're balancing your gifts and talents, when you are an advocate, when you've gone through trials and tribulations and storms, let me tell you, you still here surviving, you still here trying to impact other women, and you're not doing it for self-gain, but you're doing it because you know that there's other people that need to be set free by your testimony, by your word. They need to know the way to go. They need to know what not to do. You name it. That is a woman of worth. Let me tell you. And tonight, I'm so excited to have her. She is a testament of the indomitable human spirit, inspiring others to overcome adversity and pursue their dreams with unwavering determination. I'm overwhelmed already, y'all, reading her bio. So right now, y'all, we're about to bring her in. Thank you all for joining in on tonight. I'm about to bring into you the amazing, great guest tonight, April Paulk. April, come on in. Let me pull you in. There we go. Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Hi.
So glad to have you. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. As I was telling everybody and reading your bio and just talking, it was just something about you and your spirit when I saw you at the event, Both Sides of the Gun. You never know why God gives us purpose to go there. I wanted to hear what was happening. I didn't expect to get guests for the show. I went because of my passion for it. And so it was like the Lord was like, nah, bring her on, because not only does her story need to be shared, people need to know how you overcame this. And I want the things that you shared about when you were serving time, and how what God gifted from that and brought you through. I want people to know, because even how you talk about redemption, and I think about how God gives us second chances, and when it's unjust and you still fight for it, other women need to know that they're not alone. They need to know that they're valued, and this is the month that we're going to do it. So I want to start first with the heavy part, the meat of the stuff, before I go back into like you growing up in Douglas, Georgia. So you had a situation. You went to Pulaski prison. Share that story of how first you became incarcerated. What happened?
Okay. So I guess it started back, I want to say 2017. I've always been an entrepreneur. And so I owned a personal care home. I was in a process of transitioning from Augusta, Georgia, Richmond County, and coming to the Conyers area. And so while I was here in Conyers, I got a call that one of my clients was hurt and that he ended up dying. He ended up passing. And by me being the owner, I couldn't actually leave at that time because my son was in court and he was a minor. And so I had to be there with him. And by the time I got there, everything had cleared out. Fast forwarding 6 months later, I'm at my home in Conyers and I get a call. They're saying like, you're on the news. And I'm like, I'm on the news. And it was like, you're wanted. They have a 12 count indictment for your arrest. And so I look it up and then I'm like, this is real. Prior to that, probably like 2 weeks before that news, me and my children had just gotten in a bad car wreck. And so we were literally going through therapy and trying to just get things started. And I was trying to get them situated. When that happened, I got with my lawyer and I'm like, well, what do I do? I wasn't there. What do I do? And so they were just like, you're going to turn yourself in. I'm going to try to negotiate a couple of weeks for you to get the kids situated, get your medical things together, and we'll go turn ourselves in. So I willingly, people say that's crazy, but I willingly got with my lawyer and we went and turned myself in. And so, I thought I was doing the right thing. And I think that was like February the 6th. I walked through those doors, just sitting there waiting for them to take me in. And that's what I did. And at that time, I had the notion that, this would pass. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. I'm just doing the right thing. And I'll be home with my children soon. But I never left. I ended up staying in county for 13 months. The judge told the DA that if they weren't going to bring this to trial, what he was going to do was dismiss the case. 2 weeks later, somebody called me out the room and said, hey, you're in the newspaper again. I stayed in Augusta Chronicle. And so I'm in the newspaper and they're basically just saying, well, hey, now we're opening up a case. We're going to charge you with food stamp fraud. So they said during the time that I was going to college and my twins' dad died, I didn't report their Social Security to DC, and I had an overpayment of like $17,000 in food stamps. And that actually is what sent me to prison. So the judge sentenced me. He sentenced me 25 years, do 12 for public assistance fraud, food stamp fraud, things that people typically get probation for. And
Right.
so, I couldn't believe it. My family couldn't believe it. Nobody believed this was really happening. I had no prior record, anything like that. So after 13 months of being incarcerated in county, I was sent to Pulaski State Prison. During that time, well, I went to Alto first for diagnostics, but during that time, I was waiting for this case that was supposed to be dismissed, but COVID hit as soon as I get there. So it's going on, nothing going on. That judge that advised the DA, and so it was lingering, and so they never got rid of the case. I'm like, I should go on, I need to be home with my children. My daughter was acting out. She couldn't take what was going on. So I told the lawyer, he came back with me. He said, well, hey, they got a open plea. Me, I didn't know what that was. I'm just like, I know I done been here 4 years already. What else do y'all want from me? And so he said they had an open plea of 15 years. And so when I went to court, I'm thinking this judge is going to understand. He's going to see all the good things I've done in the system. I haven't been in trouble. The DA asked for 15 years, which was the max. The judge gave me 15 years. So I was sentenced to 15 years. At that time, I had already did 4 with PIC points and everything ready to kick in. I thought, hey, I'll be out the door soon. But it didn't typically go that way, because even after the judge did that, they weren't giving credit for the time I sat. For 4 years, they didn't want to give me, they only wanted to give me credit from the time I was sentenced. And so I had to fight for that. And so I stayed in the law library. I studied, I did whatever I had to do. I wrote a writ of mandamus, and that's basically where you sue the people that are holding you. And the commissioner came back and said, give her time served. And then shortly after that, I received the TPM. And I walked out those doors on March the 3rd, 2023.
So let me get this straight for those that are listening and watching. You served time convicted of something that you weren't a part of. Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, they said because I was the owner, it was my
Yeah,
responsibility.
you're responsible.
Regardless of what was going on, because I owned it, I was responsible.
Yeah. Wow. So let me ask this. That had to have been an interruption in your life when this first started. Am I correct? What was going on with your life before this happened? Because that's all I'm picking up. That was an interruption of your life, your children, your family. I mean, you said right before that there was an accident and you guys were going through therapy. But then to have to deal with these charges,
Right.
what was going through your mind? How did you handle the kids at that time? How did you balance this?
At that time, like I said, everything was so unreal. Everything literally happened fast. I literally was in this car accident, and then right after that, this is happening. So I'm trying to process it. Like, is God telling me something, or what's going on? What I'm missing? And then so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get the kids together. I tried to get their doctors situated, try to help me with the therapy.
Yeah.
And try to keep up with what I had going on. During those I just would see them occasionally because we were trying to get prepared to go turn myself in. And so it was really rough. I honestly never thought that I would be there forever. I thought that I would get a bond and I would have a chance to fight my case. But I was denied that. And so I left there and went straight to prison.
Wow. I think about when you go through something like that, how, when you get in that place and the state of mind that you have before going in to the state of mind you had once you're in, when you were inside, and this is just to help other women understand, what was happening in that time? Were you questioning God, or how did you sustain your mind while you were there waiting for some type of breakthrough, sitting in that space, wanting things to shift and change, but they're not? How did you stabilize yourself?
At first it was definitely hard. Like I said, I went to diagnostics first in Sheridalovelace, Alto State Prison. I've never been in trouble. So to go in and see that I was here, I was stripped down, I was stripped from my hair, I was, and just to walk
Yeah.
up, walking up, you see people hanging out the window saying things, and I'm like, this is like what is on TV. Like, I wasn't ready for this. And so I'm in this place and I'm looking, and it's like I'm hearing doors slam, and it became surreal. And I'm a passionate and caring person in field and just being in the medical field. I was always compassionate and
Yeah.
caring. I saw fights happen, and this thing is because I'm naturally going to like, okay, let me help them. But it's a rule, in
Right.
prison. You just kind of supposed to mind your business type thing. You have to watch your
Yeah.
surroundings and just what you're doing, so you can't go in that way. And so I had to change kind of like who I was at first to try um to for safety, just like, look, just calm down, just breathe. And so, it was those days at first. And then, but I think what helped me get through it, she made sure I was able to talk to kids all the time. She made sure it was
Great.
money on the phone. She made sure she gave me scriptures. She kept me motivated even when I just didn't want to hear it. I just wanted to have a party. She just kept me kind of up. And just hearing my kids' voices was everything. And so I'm like, okay, I'm here. So now what do you want me to do, God? And so from the jump, even in diagnostics, I started getting in Bible study groups. And I just started trying to keep my sanity and keep myself spiritually guided. Progressed. I would have those moments when I didn't hear from a lawyer, or when I'm asking my sister what's going on, or witnessing things, seeing mistreatment and stuff. I'm like, okay, they doing this in here. I can't be in here, but you're in prison. Your family can't really help you. If they call up there, if they do these things, it makes it worse on you. So you have to, I just had to give it to God.
Right.
Nobody could touch me. Nobody could help me. And so I just try to keep myself spiritually grounded. By me first getting there, so I had to wait a certain amount of time to be able to get in programs. But once I was able to, I stayed in every program. I took up every trade that I possibly could get into. I received favor. I received favor from the staff. I received favor from the
Mm.
inmates. I didn't have enemies. So that was a blessing. And so that made the time so much easier. And that helped me to focus on the different things. So once I saw what I was dealing with, and I tried to battle it every day. I'm not gonna lie, I was a crybaby at first. I was crying up on them covers every day, like, get
Sure.
me out of here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just had to stay grounded, and that's what I did. And I just kept myself in a positive light, started attending the church services, helping with the church services, helping with the prayers, doing prayers, just going to every trade, the school, just being positive. And so that's what I did. And that's when I settled down. It's like my vision of what I needed to do. And that's when I started working on it. And I just started, instead of looking at it as a punishment, I started looking at it this if
Mhm.
this is my training ground. Um,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing things that I've never seen. I saw on TV, but
Mhm.
I never it's in real life. So I know that at the time the judge said what he said, which did not make spiritual sense to me at all or anybody around, that
Mhm.
God had the power to change that. But he allowed some things to happen. And so I feel like it's because somebody needed to meet me, or I needed to meet someone. But being
Wow.
in that place, it was a training ground for me, and it gave me the strength I needed. It gave me a whole nother light at how I view people, how I see things, and that was my push. And so I'm thankful for the experience. I really am. I truly am, because that's why I'm where I'm at now.
Mhm.
Because if I would have been going the way I was going, just things, this would have never been in my peripheral. That would have never been anything for me. And so I'm thankful, and I'm glad that God gave me that task of executing this plan, because I think I'm the one for it. And so I'm here now.
That is so powerful. And family, as you're listening and watching, what is grabbing my heart is the very fact that sometimes when we don't understand God's why and why he places us somewhere or allows something to happen. I mean, I couldn't even imagine myself, as much as I love working and trying to be an advocate too in the criminal justice system, but to go inside and stay there, I don't know how I would handle it. But you are explaining to us, if you have the will of the Lord, there's a way to get
Right,
through it. But
right,
I'm loving how the Lord had to, like you say, stop this, stop you in a place and birth something through you that may not have been birthed while you were out in the free world. That is powerful
No,
to
not
me.
at all.
And the other part that's powerful that I want people to grab is the fact that everybody that is incarcerated has a different story. And we've got to stop putting stigma and labels on people until we know and hear the story.
Right.
And until we really can get connected with them and listen and learn, etc. Because it's just, we have to just stop hurting our own people. I'm going to say that with words and labels, and really have a heart, since we're talking about the heart, to really figure out, well, what really happened? Well, let me find out for myself. Because sometimes, as we know,
Right.
media and people can distort things or have a different story and
Oh,
share
yeah.
it differently. And here you are in the newspaper and on the news and so forth.
Right.
You know what you said, the
Oh, yeah.
Augusta Tribune or whatever. And people are creating their own scenarios as to what happened. But you in your heart, you really know what
Right.
happened. You were in
Exactly.
a CEO role at the time, and you had to take ownership and
Right.
accountability for something that happened, you know, with your people. And so
Right.
I'm appreciative of this story, April, that you're sharing this and bringing breakthrough, and also setting some people free on how they think, how their mind thinks about those that have been incarcerated in the different situations that have happened. And the beauty of this is that, again, something birthed out of this. Talk about the business that birthed from you, from being in where were you at? Pulaski. You're in Pulaski at this point, right?
Mhm.
State prison. Yeah,
Right.
from Pulaski
Right.
up until the time you got out. Talk about the birthing of the gift of your business and what's happening with that now, because people need to know the harvest from the hurt from the heart. You know, I want people to hear what's happened since then.
So, just after being in there and meeting the different women from all ages, young to old, I'm just looking around and I'm just like, somebody has to know about this. So many creative, beautiful souls in there. And so I'm just like, what can I do? And so I got my little composition book. I'm always walking around with a composition book, and I just started asking questions like, well, can I interview you? And I had a bunkie was like, I'll help you get some people, because I had to keep positive. And so I'm like, if you were to go on a show, what would you like to see? Because for some reason, a reality show came to me. And so I'm just, what would you like to see? And then, of course, the younger ones that's like, oh, I want to see fighting. I want to see drama. And then you had those that say, I want to see authenticity. I want to see something real. I want to see survival. And so, as I took my notes, and I actually still have that first book when I started, I took my notes and I just started comparing, like, this is what they want to see. And I'm like, you're watching. And it was like, yeah, you'll be a part of it. And so being that I was always an entrepreneur, I wanted to make what I was creating different. And so I wanted entrepreneurship to be the center of it. Because people tend to think that once you go to prison and you get out, that you look down upon when they see your background. You can't get a job, you can't do this, you can't do these things. It's like you lose value in society's eyes. And they don't even know your story. They don't know why. They don't know. They don't care to know. It's just that, oh, you got a background, so you're this, and that's what we're going to leave it at. And I hate that that's how it is. And so knowing that I've worked in a medical field, when I get out of here, I'm going to have a background. And it's like, what am I going to do? And so I'm an avid reader about Black Wall Street, things, encouraging things about, and so something out of it. I'm just like finding out of it. How can I use this in what I'm trying to do? And so I ship, and it's like everything else that women go through outside of that. And so to be the base of my show. And so Vision came, it's pretty much like we're going to show women getting out and telling society, that showing society that, hey, because I have a background, that don't mean I can't boss up. That doesn't mean I'm not a queen. That doesn't mean that my value has lessened because I made a mistake. If anything, it has made me even better, because I done been on a bad side of the fence. I've seen what that was like. And now I could use that to show other people what not to go through or how to get through what they're going through. I could be a peer. I could help. So I have better skills than someone that hasn't been out, that hasn't went through the things I went through. And so I was like, let me see how we could use this, how we spend that. And so I came up with AP Rose Entertainment. That's my entertainment company. A is for my initial, P is my last name, and Rose is my middle name. Rose has significant meaning because I wasn't supposed to be here. They told my mom and dad I'm the 10th of 10. They told them it had me, that she was going to die and I was going to die too. And my mom and dad said, we're going to go through it with this. So what they did was they went through it. And my dad said I grabbed his hand and I unraveled like a rose. And so he named me April Rose. And so right then, Satan been trying to take me out before I got here. So my thing is that rose signified so much to me. It signified strength. It signified that God has the last say so. And so that's why I named it AP Rose Entertainment as my umbrella. And I wanted the Queenables to fall under that. And because, we're queens, regardless of what's going on, the end of Queenables is a bowls, and we're able to do any and everything that we set our mind to. And God is going to make a way for us to do that. And so that's when the vision came to me. That's when I started executing it. And believe it or not, I had no clue of what I was doing at all. That's not my lane. Like I said, I was medical, but hey, I knew that I knew how to read. I knew how to research. And I know that when it's God's will, he will pay the bill. And so that's all I needed to know to get started. And I took off. And I'm still learning as I go. I don't know everything, but I'm learning. And I know that he's backing me. He's behind me. He's in front of me. And he's building that team for me to get through for this major purpose, because it's just an epic movement. And I can't fathom what's going to come next. And I just know it's going to be great because he's involved.
It absolutely is going to be great because he's involved. I love this, and I love how God sets you on fire in a good way to be able to say, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know how it's going to get done. I don't know about the resources, but that's what it means when we walk by faith and not by sight. And so you are just an example of that on tonight. I know with everything that you've had gone on from the incarceration to coming out with this amazing reality show that's being developed and moving forward. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about that in a minute, but I want to find out, what are some of the reforms for women that you want to see, coming up? I know there's some rights of women that have been, as you said, impacted by the justice system. Share a little bit about that in case someone's listening, or someone that may have some type of connection that can support that endeavor or lead you to the right persons or people, or maybe you're already there in terms of these rights for women that are impacted by the justice system. Yeah.
Definitely. When it comes to domestic violence, I went through a horrible experience with that. And I've met so many women that are incarcerated. State of Georgia have a self-defense law. When they went for help, they tried to get help. But then when the situation turns out bad, they're sentenced to life. Their sentence is no help for them. And even when they're trying to defend themselves, or they reached out for help. And it's like, what do you do? Like, even in my situation, I reached out for help. The police told me that if they took him to jail, they would have to take me. So it's pretty much like, you choose what you want me to do. But then they came when the tragedy hit, and they saw the tragedy. So it took a tragedy for you to step up and help me. So domestic violence is dear to my heart. Not only domestic violence, but mental health, because those two are they're connected. They touch each other. A lot of things that a lot of women that I met in prison, they've been through so many things. And if they weren't going through mental health issues before they came, some of them come out with it. And the help is like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to help? Or are we just trying to just let things go? And then just when something happens, it's another sad case on the news. And so those are things that I want to see when it comes to women's rights. It's a lot going on in politics now. It's just a lot of things that this world is really going through a lot of changes. But even before what's going on now, those were areas that we needed help. I was blessed to get an advocate from the Georgia Coalition of Domestic Violence that helped me so much through my incarceration. And if it wasn't for that advocate, if it wasn't for that program, I honestly don't know where I would be. They listen to me cry, they listen to me talk about my plan, they listen to vision, and they say they'll do whatever they could to help me. They wanted to see me succeed. And we need more places like that. And the other biggest thing when it comes to women is not a lot of reentry out here for us. As a mother coming
Mm.
out of prison, it's a reentry home, but I can't take my children. Or it's only limited. It's not spaces for us. It's more catered to the men. Everything is catered to the men. And so these are areas I want to touch every area, and I want to show that, these are the things we need. I want to bring awareness to it, and at the same we're beating those odds and we're still making it. And so those are some of the things that are really dear to me.
Yeah. And so through this process, since you've been released and these things are on your heart, as I said, you were on a panel discussing this and, really,
Mm-hmm.
again, advocating for exactly what you're sharing tonight. How does your family, because you have children, grandchildren, et cetera, having a family unit, how do you keep that cultivated and enriched in a positive way? As they continue to journey and grow, knowing some of this past, knowing some of the things that have happened, because I want to help another woman tonight to understand, or just to get some more tools. How do you do it? How do you do it? You
Well,
have these.
well, I was told, when I first got out, it was kind of like, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like what goes on in prison stays in prison. Don't come out here talking about that, And I'm just like, I feel like that's why I was given this task. I don't shut up. They told me to shut up when I was in prison, or they felt like I was going to get shipped, but I had to fight for my freedom, and I fought for it, and I won it. So if I would have been quiet, I wouldn't be here probably now. I would have been doing 9 years instead of 5. So one thing I know is that testimony is important. And so since the beginning, my older two, I have a son that's 23, a daughter that's 21. So they would go with me even before my incarceration. I always kept my children involved because it was always us. Okay. So they were involved in with me going to speak. They were involved with me going to different things. I kept them involved. So my twins, they're 14. They're everywhere with me. If they're enough to get in, they're going to be there. They're going to have a camera. They're going to have something. They're going to be passing out of water. They're going to be involved. I don't think it's best to shield things from your children because they know and they need to be able to understand what's going on. And so I want them to know, yes, I made mistakes, but we're going to fight and we're going to help other people. I don't want them to be ashamed of what's going on. And so I instill that in them. And so my children are, they're gun ho, they're ready. Where we going next, Mom? They always want to be a part of it, even the adults, the young adults. And, my grandbaby, he's right there with me. So that's never been a problem. But, with my sisters and my siblings, sometimes they at first they were like, I'm sure you don't want to just let sleeping dogs, just lie. Just don't do that. Like I told them, this is my healing. And this is my story, and this is my family story. You have the ability to tell your story the way you see fit, but this is my story, and there is power in testimony. And I'm going to share it. I'm going to sing it. I'm going to rap it. I might make a music video. I don't know, but I'm going to put it out there. You're going to hear about my story because you need to know what's going on. And I know with the family I came up from, in a small country town, we kind of had that saying, what goes on in this house stays in this house type thing.
Yeah.
And I know it's other people are like that as well. But I know it's somebody watching, like even when I chose the characters, the different personalities for the show, because I know it's somebody that can relate to them. And I want them to feel like it's okay. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to talk. And it's okay because you're not alone in this. And we're here. That's what we're here for. And that's what I'm here for. So, I just feel like it's power in my testimony. And when it comes to my children, I'm instilling that in them and so that they can talk and never, you don't have to keep a secret. You're going to help. You're going to be a part of the movement. And they'll put on a t-shirt. They'll hold up a sign. They're ready to move when mommy's ready to move. They're with it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think that continues to bring cohesiveness to your family. I think it also provides more insight to your children so that they know what to do, what not to do. And also, to me, it kind of develops their character a little bit in terms of helping and understanding and being able to say, no, I want my rights to be activated. I want to be able to
Right.
stand strong and firm, responsibly and respectfully for what I believe in, or for what I'm worth, or for what I require, back in return from the justice system. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. And I'm glad that you're there to cultivate these relationships and just to be there with them as they journey on, to answer their questions, and to help make sure they stay shifted in the right direction when it comes to all of
Right.
this. So that's amazing. So if there's a woman listening or watching tonight, I just want you to know that if you have questions about whether or not who to include, who to help, etc., you've just heard, from April's mouth, the benefit that can come from explaining and sharing with your family and your children how to move in circumstances like this, and that it's not always bad. It's not always shh, don't tell anybody or whatever. No, explain to them. And the other part about this, April, is that the way the world is going now, and whatever we may face or encounter when it comes to the justice system, driving, going to the store, whatever it may be, we all want to be knowledgeable.
Right.
We want to know what to do. We want to know who's experienced what, so we know how to move forward. We want to know. So the very fact that you are on this platform and sharing, and the very fact that you've also talked about how the family is incorporated, we need to hear this. Especially some of us that have not ever been there before. Some people are like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a stand-in somewhere, or do a march or whatever. Yes, do that, but do it with wisdom. Because if they clank you
Right.
and take you to jail,
Of
are you
course.
ready for
Of
that?
course.
Do you know how to
Of course.
maneuver through that system? Do you know how to keep yourself in the right mind? Do you have purpose behind it? Do you know how to seek the Lord? When you get out, you're going to be angry again, or you're going to take that, like you did, April, and make something of it. So this is beyond just the conversation of April Paulk and her journey in the criminal justice system and how she came out. You're really opening a bigger can, which is so beautiful, for us to start getting our wheels turning and thinking about this, because anything can happen to any of us. Interrupted, a quick interruption like it did you, and it's unexpected. And I'm really speaking on the fact of just how the world is going right now. We got to be ready. And I'm going to say this, I hope I don't get in trouble by nobody, but we got to be ready. And I'm just going to use this term, lock and loaded. And I'm only saying that in a general sense, in terms of being ready, equipped to handle whatever faces us. So I'm excited about that. So for women that may have gone through incarceration and they want to share their story, and they have now built themselves up, they're an entrepreneur, they're doing things, they're developing things, that they're walking in a similar path like you, but they don't know about what you're doing. What would you encourage a woman to do? Or would you want them to reach out to you to connect and support this movement? What would be your heart's desire in reference to this, especially with Queenables?
Yes, definitely reach out to me. You can reach out to us on the website, and that's aprosesentertainment.com, or you can find us on all social media platforms. We're available, and everybody are not as confident or not ready to be in front of the camera. But we have ways of telling your story. We have ways of incorporating your story, and so we're here as a network. We're a sisterhood, and we're trying to be there for each other. So just still reach out, have a talk with me. I'm easy to get in touch with, and we could go from there. No one should be ashamed of their story. That's our past. And we're moving forward each day. These ladies are trying to be the best versions of themselves, and that's all we can do. Is we're striving in the right direction to be the best version of ourselves, and set a successful and leave a successful legacy for our family. And that's what we're trying to do. And so we're here to uplift each other, motivate each other. So it's a no judgment zone here, because hey, we were incarcerated too. You can't be a part of the Queenables if you ain't been incarcerated. You can't. It's really not no lower than that. And we're here to show you that you're a gem, And so we're here. We're here together, and that's what we're here for. So just definitely reach out to me. We're on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And like I said, you could go to the website, aprosesentertainment.com. It's a contact form there where you could or you could just jump in the inbox. Hey, well, I'm approachable. So
Yeah, and you definitely are. Y'all, she is a beautiful soul in person. I tell you, she's well, on camera too. But when I met her, beautiful soul, beautiful soul. So humble, easy to talk to. It was great. But family, I want, as you hear this, that if you know of even some way you can support April with this endeavor, with how she is advocating for criminal justice reform, how she is really big on advocating for the rights of women that have been incarcerated, from reentry programming, from just while they're there in terms of mental health, domestic violence help, etc. Connect with her, bring her to a training. Bring her to another platform or show. Bring her in so that she can continue to be a voice to help advocate for women, to show our worth, to show their worth, to show her worth, so that people can see beyond what they might just see on a piece of paper or what they might see in the news or on on TV. I don't know about y'all, but it bothers me when people just see a picture on Facebook or Instagram or a
Right.
post, and then they just think that that's how things are with her.
Right.
That's what she's doing. That's how she is, and blah blah
That's
blah.
true.
People have no idea, April, right? They have no
They have
idea
no
life
idea.
outside of social
They have
media.
no
They don't know what
idea.
you're going through, whether good or bad. They don't know what other endeavors you might be doing. They assume, oh, she just does that or he just does that. It's so much too. And this is why relationships with people are so important, especially in times like these, because I
Right.
believe that people are going to be experiencing things that they've never experienced before as we continue to journey through how different laws and things are shifting within our United States of America. And I hope my show doesn't get pulled off for this. But anyway, that's just how I feel. How I feel. I want to say, so is there my question, and then I want you to be able to share a final nugget just of encouragement to the women and men that are watching or listening, whether tonight or another night. I do want to leave them with hearing a word from you before we get off. But in terms of advocacy, I love that. Are there any other support systems, whether family or friends, that you need or you have that you want to share, aside from the ones that you've already shared in terms of advocating for these different topics that we talked about?
My biggest support system actually has been, I can honestly say, my children, and my sister.
Wow, wonderful.
Um, they have helped me, and then I've had complete strangers step in, that come in, and they've helped me in more ways than one.
Mm.
Um, like even Miss Sylvia, she's helped me when I was going through. She was like, basically, come here, child, I got you. And so, just having those loving people that just take you in regardless of what you've been through, because they see something on you,
Yeah.
is a blessing. And I've became close with my cast members, and we've shared so much, and so it's like we can lean on each other. They're advocates as well. They're advocates for things that they do. They
Wow.
have everything dear to heart, and so we have a lot of things in common. And so it's pretty much like that's my support system. But I can honestly say that my children are my team. They motivated me to keep going and not give up when I was incarcerated. And as I look at them every day, and as they say, as I look at the grandbaby done took their love now, that's just my heart. It's like that's what I'm going for. I'm going to keep the legacy of life, and so that we could just keep moving forward. And we can't get back that time that was lost, and that's something I had to consider. I can't get that time back, so I just want to make every memory count, and I want to make every minute count. So, and when I do anything, any shows, anything, I'm bringing my children along. I want them to spend every minute, every second with me, as much as possible. And it's just that, sometimes if you don't have that family support system, you get a team. God places a team in your path that just loves everything about you. They love your vision. They might not know you, but they see something in you. And that team is very important, because some
Yeah.
people don't have family. But just know that it's going to come. It's going to come. And we're here. Like I said, the Queenables is here. AP Rose Entertainment is here. And, we're opening our arms, and we're here to do whatever we possibly can. And if we can't help you, we'll find somebody that will. And that's just what we stick to.
Ooh, y'all. But thanks be unto God who always leads us into triumph. What the enemy meant for evil, April, God worked this out for your good. I just believe that there's more to come. The best is still yet to come. This is amazing. I just had to repeat and recite that scripture again because as you're talking, I just feel overflowing with how God just keeps giving us the victory, even when the enemy tries to pound on us, and you're an example of that. And we didn't even get through everything about your life,
Right.
period. We didn't get through the domestic violence gun. We didn't get through any of that. There's a lot, and we all have little stories that we need to tell. So we'll have to bring you back for part 2 and have a round table with some girls and talk about it so people know, and that they also see us through different lenses. As I shared with you, I'm a survivor of domestic violence myself, and so sometimes people have to know what type of lens to see you in, and know sometimes why you are the way you are as God continues to peel back those layers of healing. He peels them back so you can heal and keep going and do what he's called to do. But he's also called us, folks like you and I, to share so we can help other women to get through some of these circumstances that they've been through. So I'm just grateful for you. So if there was a final word that you could leave a woman, since it's Women's History Month, in reference to her heart and her harvest, either one, both, one or the other, whatever, what would be a final nugget that you would share and seal the deal on tonight? You have an amazing testimony of everything. You're in media, you're an entrepreneur, you are multi-educated, which is amazing. You're a mama, you're a grandma. You've been through domestic violence. You've had an unjust conviction, but you're into advocacy, criminal justice reform, rights of women, and so much more. You really are a heavyweight champion, girl. You're a heavyweight champion. What final word would you leave for another woman about her heart and her harvest like you?
It's just to say that never give up. You see everything, or you don't know everything I've been through, but I've been through a lot. And by the grace of God, I don't look like it. And the biggest thing is never give up, because you are a queenable. And when I say that term, I mean that you're able to be crowned, regardless of your past, regardless of the mistakes that you may have made. It doesn't matter. You still have a crown that can be placed on your head. You are queenable, and it's okay. Just keep moving, no matter what you do. Just one step at a time. Just one step at a time. I would like to say my son watches anime, and so he was watching something, and I heard it, and I take things. And it was a little quote. He said that. He said basically, I think it was taquito. He said I say it wrong all the time. Never stop moving, because if you stop moving, the moment you stop moving, you die. And I took that and I told my son, I'm going to use that. I need that quote. And because it meant something to me, it hit, because that's something I've been doing. I don't want to stop, even if it's just one little thing at a time. Cross off your list, just baby steps. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Just never give up and keep going, and you're going to reach your goal. And God will place people in your life along the way that's going to help you get to each step. But you just got to have that faith as small as a mustard seed, to just keep going. So just keep going. Never give up. Never give up, because you're able to be crowned. You are a queenable.
That is beautiful. I can't even come back with nothing right now because I'm soaking in what you're saying, y'all. Family, grab that on tonight. Women, grab that on tonight. It's Women's History Month. April's making history. You are history. We all have the opportunity to be crowned and to continue to be history, not just for ourselves, but for the legacy that we leave behind us. So I'm happy about that, and I'm encouraged. April, thank you so much for joining the show on tonight.
You.
Your transparency, absolutely. Your humility, your how you're moving just to make this a blessing versus, oh, woe is me. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray more and more women become attached to you because of the spirit that you carry, the light that you carry. And I said this before, I still believe that your best is yet to come as you continue to move in this direction. So God bless you. I'm so happy you're here. Family, we're going to wrap up tonight. Listen, if any of you want to be a guest, make sure you send me an email at Sheridalovelace Ministries at gmail.com. If you have amazing stories like April's, Come on the show. Matter of fact, we'll have to bring April back when you come on the show. Send us an email. You can follow us on all social media platforms. You can follow me on Facebook at Dr. Sherida Lovelace and Sherida Lovelace Ministries. And then on Instagram at just Sherida Lovelace. I made it easy. Just really use my name on everything. And make sure if you have not subscribed to my channel to hear more amazing stories and catch April's replay, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, S Lovelace TV, home of the Triumphant Show. And I just thank all the media partners who support and host the Triumphant Show. Thank all the hosts and the other platforms that support Scepter Sips and the full ministry of Sherida Lovelace Ministries. Thank you all for watching. We will be back with another Woman of Worth as we shine the light on women of worth for the month of March, right here on the Triumphant Show, the place where victory repeats itself. Until next time, choose ye this day whom you will serve, and I will see you once again. God bless you all, and we'll see you. Good night.
Good night.